going through very briefly every single module so that you can expect what are the areas, what are the items going to be discussed in every module. Okay. So in general, this is the first subject of of CPA, and very much applicable when you are to become a CPA later. You are expected to apply and exercise what that have been stipulated in APES, the Code of Ethics, being an accountant. If you are, even though you are working in Malaysia, but since you are holding the title of CPA Australia, okay, you are expected to also comply with all the ethical standards. And all the standards, all the items that you are expected to apply and fulfill are to be learned in EG. Okay? And the aim of this subject, one of the aims, of course, to create an ethical. Sometimes all of you can be an accountant one day, right? But can you be an ethical accountant? Can we be an ethical? We can be an accountant, but can we be an ethical accountant? Okay, so not many people can uphold and confirm that. Okay, of course we can. We wish that we can be, it's a truly wishful thing for us if we can be an ethical accountant. But we do not know how are we going to interact, how are we going to act and respond until we are in that situation. Okay, so let's not to promise moon and stars, but at least we are moving forward. We are trying our level best, directing ourselves towards that point that we are actually being able to become a thoughtful and ethical accountant. And we are also expected to learn and even advise the governance part or the governance elements later after learning this subject, because one of the roles of the accountant is for you to be as an advisor for the companies. So one of the things that you probably can advise is how can a corporation set up their team? What would be the right composition of audit committee? What would be the right composition of board members, board of directors? Who should be in the board? What are the criteria to become a board member? How many meetings should they convene and conduct? So all these are the elements of governance that maybe one day you are able to advise your clients. Okay. So there are 5 modules to be completed, and yes, we have 15 classes. I don't really specify which module is to be taught in which week. It depends on the flow. We will go with the flow. Okay, for example, today I don't really think that I am able to finish everything in this part A, because I have taken much, introducing things early on. But it's okay, as I said, we are not in hurry. We have the perks, we have the luxury of time up until the 15th class. Okay, if 15 class is still not enough, we can have more if you want. But I think and I believe inshallah 15 classes will be fair enough. That 15 classes will include 2 times of quizzes. So I am expecting at least 13 discussion classes, 2 discussion classes like this. We do lecture class, and 2 slots or 2 classes. We will reserve it for the quizzes. We have quiz 1 and quiz 2. Okay, I will tell you when should we take that quiz 1. Okay, don't worry, it may not be too early. It's not even after Hari Raya Haji. No, I think I should set a milestone. Okay, maybe the earliest that I can give you the quiz 1 is maybe for example, once we have completed module 3 for quiz 1, and then quiz 2 once you have completed up until module 5. Can you see that? So that you can see your progress. If we are to wait until everything is finished, then we do both quizzes, I'm afraid that you can't really learn much. One of the reasons why we have several quizzes, so that you will learn from your experience what are the areas that you can improve from your previous quiz. Okay, one of the things that usually students have to improve from one quiz to another is your time management. Okay, sometimes you might be thinking, oh, I'm super ready, but you never test yourself, and that is the reason why later when you do your revision, especially when you are doing some questions from knowledge ability, set your time. Don't do it. You can do it in leisure, but at least for some sets, sit down, dedicate yourself, lock the door whatsoever, set the time, do it in that time frame, so that you know how critical it is when you are bound to the time limit. Okay, if you tend to do, let's say, instead of doing, questions, okay, today I do 5 with leisure, minum kopi, watch Netflix, do 5, then tomorrow I will go to the 5. You don't feel the pressure. Okay, and please use and learn that. Alright, so technically, looking and going through these 5 modules, okay, generally, for the essay part, generally, okay, this is my prediction and also my expectation, and also based on the past experience, I would say for the essay part would generally be coming from 2 and 3. 2 and 3. And that makes us to put our extra attention and effort even when we do module 2 and module 3. Please learn and make extra effort to ask questions, to do more and more questions, because I am still expecting your essay part would be asking you this module 2 and module 3. It's either module 2 and module 3 or module 2 or module 3. You know what I mean? It's either 2 and 3 or 2 or 3. Because one case can ask you, can give you questions from different modules for the same question. For example, 2 is about ethics. Let's say you're given an ethical dilemma. You're given a company. There are several issues happening in this company. Okay, first you are being asked about the ethical dilemma in general. For example, one of the ethical elements, one of the ethical code of ethics is integrity. You are asked about integrity is from module 2. And then for the same question, since the situation is about company, you are also can be asked about the governance. What is wrong with the governance of this company? Can you see that? So it could be the combination of both module 2 and module 3. I am not saying that module 1, 4 and 5 are not being asked in the essay part, but based on my, as I said, based on my personal experience teaching and taking the subject, these are among the areas that simply can be turned into questions. Okay, because 4 and 5, for example, later when you learn, 4 and 5 are more on real world cases. What happened, what happened in Enron, what happened in, companies like Volkswagen, Google. So they learn, you will be learning and, exploring all these real world cases in chapter 4 and chapter 5. Usually in the exam, the essay part usually about a fictitious company. Fictitious? About a fake company. Okay? Alright, okay. So these are among the elements that are being covered in each module. if you see in module 1, we are going to start with the concept of ethics, okay, the attributes of a profession. And once you know that whether you are working in a profession or if you are just doing a job, then you can simply and easily apply the ethics, the ethical elements, because different professions may require different kind of ethical conduct. For example, how being an engineer, they have the own set of codes for them to follow. And then being an accountant, being a doctor, being a lawyer, so different profession may require different kind of requirements. So first thing first, we will explore and learn the attributes of a profession. Okay, and for me to tell you, not all job can be called a profession. A job can stay as a job, not as a profession. Kerja versus kerjaya. Okay, and then followed by module 2. Okay, this is the, I would say, ethics. From module 1 up until module 5, it is like you are climbing a mountain. You know? Module 1 is you started to climb. Module 2 you are still climbing. Okay, until you reach the peak, which is module 3. So once you reach module 4 and 5, you will start to go down. So what I'm trying to say here is, module 2 and module 3 are the hardest modules for you to take note. Okay, why do I say difficult and hard? Look at this. In module 2, you will be learning and exploring lots of theories. Okay, we have theories like deontological, teleological, so many terms and jargons. And we have codes of ethics also to be taught here. Okay, remember I said earlier APES, Australian Professional Ethical Standards, where we have to know what are the code of ethics that an accountant should apply. Integrity, objectivity, professional competence and due care, professional behavior, and so on and so forth. Okay, and we also have models to apply. Model means like a framework. For example, in the AC part, okay, this is very important. In the AC part, when you are to answer that AC part, you have to answer using a model. For example, there is one model called AAA model. Okay. Okay. Explain the ethical issue in the above case using AAA model. Get what I mean? Can you expect what you're supposed to do now? You have to apply. Yes, even though you know exactly what the situation is, but if you do not know what is actually AA model and you do not know how to apply that model into that case, it is hard for you to get good marks. So the combination of both is a must. To understand the case well and to know how to apply the model well. Okay, something like in mathematics, you have to solve this equation using this formula or another formula. If they ask you to use this formula, use this formula. Remember depreciation? Calculate depreciation using this formula. Even though you know the other formula, but the question asks you to use this formula. Yeah, straight line, double declining, so on and so forth. Okay, so that's how, and that's why I say this is the one of the hardest modules, topics that you have to do. Okay. Module 3 also another challenging topic, because this is we have already done ethics part in module 2, and this is a totally new topic that tells about the governance part. Remember, we have ethics and governance, right? Ethics is done in module 2. Now we are in the governance part, module 3 and 4. What is the difference between module 3 and module 4? Module 3 is mainly theoretical. Module 4 is application. Application means how do you see some examples of governance in real world companies? Okay, for example, how did this company apply the governance that you learned in module 3? Okay, meaning to say module 3 is theory, module 4 is practical. So to understand the practical part, you first have to understand the theory part. And one of the challenging things for you to acknowledge about this module 3 is for you to learn and understand quite a number of concepts, quite a number of items. You know, for example, you have to learn what are the duties of the directors, what are the duties of company secretary, what are the duties of the board members, what are the powers of the shareholders. You know, talking about duties, talking about powers, talking about the duties of committees. Okay, have you guys ever done any assignment asking you to download and analyze an annual report?
Yes.
What subject was that?
FAR.
FAR, right? So please use that knowledge and understand. But I assume in FAR you only use that financial statement part. You didn't, did you read the governance part? No. Read as well? Not really, right? Okay. We are now going to extend your reading on annual report other than just the financial statements. Okay? If you realize in a typical annual report, you have all the figures, which is the financial statements, and also all the written. Okay? Governance is about all those, mainly about all those written documents. Okay? Like for example, who's who in the board of directors? Okay? What are the committees? What are the committees being set up? How many meetings did all the directors have? What are the training? What are the trainings that all these directors attended? You see? So all these things are, I would say, when we talk about the governance, is mainly about those written information in the annual report other than the financial statements. It's not about notes to financial statement. Notes to financial statement is still about the financial statement, right? But I'm talking about everything before the financial statements. You know, can you imagine the report is thick, right? Usually the financial statement is towards the end. So please go and try and read any annual report and try to read through the earlier part up until the financial statements. And then you can see you are actually reading about corporate governance. Okay, and why do I say so? Because if there is no such thing as corporate governance, can you imagine 10 companies, they will drive differently. Company A, the first company up until the 10th company, without corporate governance, without MCCG in Malaysia, we have MCCG, Malaysian Code of Corporate Governance. Without MCCG, company A will write whatever that they want to write. Company B will write differently. So the same thing goes for the other companies. But since they are following the same code of governance, that is the reason why it is easy for you to read and understand all the annual reports, even though they are all from different industries. You are reading annual report about Petronas. You're reading about the report of telco like TM, and then TNG, and then you reading a report about a construction company. You still can understand because they follow the same standards. Not only that they are following the same accounting standards about the financial statements, you learn FAR, but they are also following the same governance. You know what I mean? So in general, governance that you're going to learn in module 3 is about the annual report, everything up until the financial statements. Okay? Okay? Okay, now look at that. This module 4. Module 4 is about governance in practice, and why this is being made as the 4th module, because you have to learn first module 3, governance in theory. And the challenging part of this module 4, there are lots of technical terms. like let me share you a few. Puffery, you know, rope trading, okay, Ponzi schemes. See, so many unusual terms. Have you heard about that?
Yes,
right?
Ponzi.
Kita macam baru. Okay, that should be an advantage for you to understand that. Okay, what else? Cartel conduct. Okay, if you think that you have learned that before, yes, please use and press that back. Be very careful. Different books may interpret it differently. It's a good thing for you to, yes, bring forward whatever that you have learned. But yeah, let's use it in the CPA way. Okay, use whatever that CPA is right. Okay, and we are going to also explore some elements in goods and services market, and some elements how the governance being done in goods and services, also how the governance is done in financial market. Okay, the applicability of the governance being set in different industries. And last but not least, you know, it goes beyond financial reporting. We are trying to highlight and emphasize that we are no longer upholding, you know, only financial performance, but we are moving towards ESG. You know ESG? What ESG is? Yes, environmental, social, and governance. Okay, ESG is a new term of sustainability. Okay, when we talk about sustainability, sustainability is about ESG. Okay, it is also about triple bottom line. Different names, but basically we are talking about the same thing. Financial, environmental, social. Okay? Right. Okay, here we go. Okay, let's start. I think you can get yourself ready, key in your index. Starting from now. Have you already started? Not yet, right? Yes. Okay, good. But I assume you are also referring to your PDF module as well, so that you can put the page number. Okay. This is our starting point. Ever seen or ever read an article saying that, okay, one of the professions that is going to be extinct means kubus, in the future is accountant? Do you agree with that statement? No? Why you don't? Yeah, definitely. Otherwise, you are not here, right? If you say yes, you might be taking some other courses. Now, tell them, prove them. Why do you say no? Why should you say no? If they are saying the technology will replace us as an accountant in the future, what is your take? What do you think?
AI has no professional judgment.
AI has no
Professional judgment.
professional judgment. Wow, that's good. Okay. AI has no professional judgment. AI can't make professional judgment. Okay. Right. But don't you think that in the future, more and more sophisticated AIs will be in with that element as well, doing professional judgment? Can we still survive? Okay, the reason why I'm asking you, okay, because in the future, even don't wait. Okay, don't wait till the future. Don't wait until you started working, then you think about it. Okay, because you have to realize that all this while, much of the tasks, especially all those mundane tasks like bookkeeping, okay, have been not really have been taken over by the technology, but they have been transformed, being more efficient by using software and apps. I'm sure in your undergrad you learn AIS. What was the software that you used? Mayok, right? Of course, there is still human input that needs to be done. Okay, but the point I want to highlight here is regarding that statement that the accountant job is going to be extinct in the future. In order for us to counter that statement is for us to change, to make changes. What are the changes? What are the changes that we have to prepare? Tell them, being an accountant is not about, figure crunching. We are not here to make your financial statements. We are not here only to calculate your tax return. We are not here to audit you. But we can do more than just what we are currently doing. And that is the reason why, if you look at Big Four, have you guys done your internship? Not yet, okay? If you go and have your internship later, that is the reason why more and more Big Four, more and more firms, especially Big Four, they are now having IT-related department. They have IT audit. Okay? And still, all of us can join, and we are now trying to tell the world that yes, even though even though that you see that the technology is replacing some of our tasks, but look, we have some other tasks to perform. We can advise you more areas now, and that is the reason why you are here taking CPA, equipping yourself to make yourself more flexible, not only just becoming a typical general accountant, but as an accountant that has all these capabilities. And that is why we have to change the perception. Okay? Because if you go and say balik kampung, people see that you as an accountant. Okay, look at uncles and aunties looking at you as an accountant. In their mind, they only have limited information about who accountant is and who are you. And that is the reason why some of the questions are very much limited, thinking that you are only doing this and you are only supposed to be working in this company, which is you are not. Okay, right. And here we are going to look at a profession. Okay, what makes a job is a profession, and what makes a job stays as a job. Okay, and before we explore what are the 8 attributes of a profession, being an accountant, these are among the questions. Remember, our goal is to become an ethical accountant, correct? Not to become only as an accountant, but as an ethical accountant. Since we are here learning ethics, so we have to uphold and highlight this. So on our way to become an ethical accountant is for us to answer this question: public interest or self-interest, or in the middle? Get to know the difference between these two. Public interest means what? You are doing your job for the sake of the public. Your main attention, your main direction is mainly to the public. The opposite of public interest is self-interest. You are doing it for the sake of yourself. And is there something in the middle? 50-50, win-win. You get what I mean? Being an accountant, can you give me some examples? How can an accountant show that he or she is going towards public interest? An example of an accountant that shows that he or she is in public interest is what? Whatever that you do, you put aside yourself. You are doing this. Think that is the greatest. That will be the best type of accountant that a person can be. Okay, you do your job. You, as long as you follow all the rules, as long as you follow all the codes of ethics, and as long as you don't break any rules, okay, you are assumed doing it for the sake of public interest. Okay, example of an accountant that shows self-interest. Fraud. For example, when there is an opportunity to involve in a fraud, the money is going to be shared with everyone else? No, it's only for him or her. So that shows more on self-interest. Okay, quick question. Does it mean if we are doing public interest, if we are going towards public interest, are we sacrificing ourselves? Are we doing it at the expense of ourselves?
Yes.
No.
Berkorban apa saja for the public. We sacrifice everything.
No.
We also want to gain something, right? Right? So that is the thing that I want you to think and bring forward, because there are few terms to be discussed here. Okay, now I give you 5 minutes, okay, to go through these two terms. You can Google, and we will discuss these two terms after 5 minutes. I want to see your opinion and understanding. Okay, so far, how many keywords already in your index? Terus terbatuk. How many? 7. Okay, keep going. I want, at the end of our 15 class, I should expect more than 1,000 keywords. It's not impossible. So on average, each module 200.